Okay, this is going to be part 6 of Federalist 7. The paragraph reads as, competitions of commerce would be another fruitful source of contention. The states less favorably circumstanced would be desirous of escaping from the disadvantages of local situation and of sharing in the advantages of their more fortunate neighbors. Each state or separate confederacies would pursue a system of commercial policy peculiar to itself. This would occasion distinctions, preferences, and exclusions which would beget discontent. The habits of intercourse on the basis of equal privileges to which we have been accustomed since the earliest settlement of the country would give a keener edge to those causes of discontent that they would naturally have independent of this circumstance. We should be ready to denominate injuries those things which were in reality the justifiable acts of independent sovereignties consulting a distinct interest. The spirit of enterprise which characterizes the commercial part of America has left no occasion of displaying itself unimproved. It is not at all probable that this unbridled spirit would pay much respect to those regulations of trade by which particular states might endeavor to secure exclusive benefits to their own citizens. The infractions of these regulations on the one side, the efforts to prevent and repel them on the other, would naturally lead to outrages and these to reprisals and wars. Hamilton is reminding the population of the 13 states that up to now you've been getting the same treatment, usually, generally speaking, from the other countries. But if you stay disunited, other countries will come and by offering different prices for different things you have to sell them, they will start jealousy and distrust amongst yourselves. Because for the longest time, you've been kind of secure from them playing one state against the other. But if you stay disunited, they will take advantage of that. Because some states, just because of where they're located at, they will have advantage over some of the other states in certain things they raise, whether it's produce, whether it's trade, fishing, indigo, rice, wheat, timber, whatever it is. There are going to be differences, and other countries will come, and in order to get the best price, in order to disunite you, they will have different policies towards you. And that will create distrust amongst you all. And another thing, he says we have to be realistic. The American people have settled in different parts of this country. Their traditions have changed a little bit. And the traditions that they've grown this last century with, because remember, all these states have been settled since middle of 1600s, if not early 1600s. So they each have their tradition, they each have their things that separate them from the others. As well as it says that we are very commercial people. We are very energetic. We always want to have big markets to sell our products in. So we too are going to be a little competitive. And between this competition and between what the other states will do to us, we will gradually grow apart. We will start distrusting one another. And that would be awful for us. He says, this is natural. So don't think if you stay disunited, other things won't happen to you. Because as we go forward, we will see states like New Jersey and Connecticut, they did not have really good ports. So they would buy a lot of their things that would come from overseas, either from New York or Philadelphia or Pennsylvania. And New York would love to pass on the tax they paid, the tariff they paid on the imports, to pass it on to the people of New Jersey and Connecticut. They would say, why should we force our people to pay those taxes, those tariffs? We'll just charge the people in Connecticut and in New Jersey more. This way we don't have to tax our people as much. And people in Connecticut and New Jersey were getting upset that the neighboring state is taking advantage of them. So he's constantly saying that these things are natural, they are already happening, and they will happen more and more. What would happen if they start charging something like a tariff if one product from one state was going to another, crossing the borderline? What if one state didn't charge as much as the other? Then naturally, let's say you're South Carolina and North Carolina only charges you 3% more on an item that they produce, whereas Georgia charges you 5% more. So you're naturally going to buy from North Carolina, and before you know, Georgia and North Carolina are going to have problems. They're going to be jealous. They're going to start distrusting one another. So he's constantly reminding them of the future problems, not even a future too far away, but a future that's very close to them, that these will grow from arguments into animosities, and you will start wars, and that will bring your destruction. So focus on union, focus on having a small army to protect you from your neighbors on this side, from the Native Americans over here, and try to increase the power of the Navy so that you can ship your products overseas and not be a tool for British Navy or the British trade system, and or the French or the Spanish, especially the British, because they were they had a very powerful navy. So he says, if we develop our resources and have a great navy, then we'll start marketing our products, and Britain will see that it is to her advantage not to block us, because then we will block Britain from having access to our markets. So this is something that we have to constantly remember, that with union comes more power, more development, more prosperity, less warfare, and it's good for everybody all around.